But the key thing also is at the same time that we got to do things legal. That is the important thing, you know. So you got to do things legal, and those people that are doing illegal things in America and that are foreigners, they are not smart. Because when you come to America, you're a guest, and you have to behave like a guest. When you become an immigrant, to think about, okay, I go to America because I want to use America for the great opportunities that America has in education, in jobs, creating a family, all of those kind of things. Then you have to think about, okay, if I get all of those things from America, then I have to give something.
Arnold Schwarzenegger burst onto the stage and exited in a shower of sparks, like a scene ripped straight from an action blockbuster. The former California governor didn't tiptoe around the moment. He came in hot, delivering hard truths with full-blown Terminator intensity. The liberal panel looked stunned, scrambling as his words landed with real force. If you're done with safe, watered-down takes and ready for opinions that hit like a wrecking ball, hit that like button now and strap in. This is about to explode.
You are an immigrant. You're an immigrant in this country. Yeah. Did you have a visceral reaction to what they're doing, what ICE is doing, when you see the videos of it?
Well, I tell you, you said that the immigrant, I'm so proud and happy that I was embraced by the American people like that. I mean, imagine I came over here with the age of 21, with absolutely nothing. And then to create a career like that. I mean, in no other country in the world could you do that.
Arnold Schwarzenegger is one of the most remarkable immigrant success stories America has ever produced. He arrived in the United States at just 21 years old, with nothing but ambition and drive. And against all odds, he went on to dominate every world he entered. From bodybuilding champion, to Hollywood icon, to governor of California, Arnold conquered it all. So when The View invited him on, they likely assumed they could lean on his celebrity and steer him into criticizing Trump's stance on illegal immigration. What they didn't expect was a storm. Arnold didn't come to follow their script. He came to rip it apart and speak his truth without holding anything back.
Every single thing, if it's my bodybuilding career, if it's my acting career, becoming governor, the beautiful family that I've created, all of this is because of America.
That's true.
And so this is why I'm so happy to see firsthand that this is the greatest country in the world, and this is the land of opportunity.
Arnold began by praising America, what it meant to him, and everything it had given him. It felt like a setup. You could sense the mood in the room shifting as people leaned in and listened closely. In that moment, Arnold was giving the audience exactly what they expected. A heartfelt tribute to America's greatness, and a strong defense of every immigrant's right to pursue the American dream. It was sincere, emotional, and completely disarming. But what no one realized was that this was just the opening act. Schwarzenegger was building momentum, and what came next would shock the room and leave everyone stunned.
But the key thing also is at the same time that we got to do things legal. That is the important thing, you know. So you got to do things legal, and those people that are doing illegal things in America and that are foreigners, they are not smart. Because when you come to America, you're a guest, and you have to behave like a guest. Like when I go to someone's house and I'm a guest, then I will do everything I can. Keep things clean.
Near the end of the clip you just watched, you can see Sunny Hostin trying to jump in and shut Arnold down. The discomfort on her face was impossible to miss. It was clear she didn't like where the conversation was heading. Just when it seemed like Arnold might fall in line with their narrative, he flipped the entire moment. Calm and composed, he reminded the panel and the audience that there is a legal path to immigration, and that's the path every immigrant is expected to follow. No exceptions. Whether the hosts liked it or not, that was the hard truth. You could feel the room grow heavier as the applause faded and his words sank in. Arnold wasn't there to play political games. He showed up to speak his truth.
And to make my bed and to do everything that is the right thing to do rather than committing a crime or being abusive or something like that. So that doesn't really work in this country. So I think the important thing is when you become an immigrant, to think about, okay, I go to America because I want to use America for the great opportunities that America has in education, in jobs, creating a family, all of those kind of things. Then you have to think about, okay, if I get all of those things from America, then I have to give something back.
Arnold then delivered another blunt message, and it sent Sunny Hostin and Joy Behar scrambling. In his view, immigrants who come to America should act like immigrants, grateful for the opportunity, respectful of the law, and ready to contribute, not break the rules. He didn't soften his language or dress it up to make it sound nicer. And honestly, it's a message that's been missing from the conversation for far too long. The numbers back it up. A 2023 Department of Homeland Security report showed that in Texas alone, more than 56,000 non-citizen immigrants were arrested for serious crimes, including homicide, assault, and drug trafficking. Over just a few years, illegal immigrants were charged with more than 250,000 criminal offenses in that single state. That's not the story The View wanted to highlight. But Arnold wasn't there to protect their narrative. He made one thing crystal clear. Immigration is a privilege, not a free pass to ignore the law. If you come to America, you follow America's rules. Anything less, he said, is an insult to the opportunity this country provides.
You have a responsibility as an immigrant to give back to America and to pay back to America and to go and do something for your community for no money whatsoever. Give something back to after-school programs, Special Olympics, or whatever it is. Make this country a better place.
The former California governor followed up with another point that clearly rattled the panel. Calm but firm, Schwarzenegger made his stance unmistakable. Immigrants shouldn't focus only on what they can take from America, but on what they can give back. He went straight after the growing sense of entitlement, reminding everyone that real gratitude is shown through service, contribution, and respect for the country that opened its doors. How many immigrants can honestly say they've repaid that gift after receiving America's freedom, opportunity, and safety? That was Arnold's challenge, and it hit hard. He wasn't attacking immigrants. He is one. But he asked the uncomfortable question, are we raising contributors or creating complainers? His words weren't just criticism. They were a wake-up call, a mirror held up to the nation. And as Arnold pushed the conversation where Sunny Hostin clearly wasn't prepared to go, her tension showed, and she fired back.
Keep things clean and to make my bed and to do everything that is the right thing to do rather than committing a crime or being abusive or something like that.
Well, don't forget, there's 90% of the people who come here are trying to do the right thing.
They're less likely to commit crimes.
And a lot of what's happening right now is people are getting snatched who shouldn't be snatched out of the country, people who have visas, people who have all those things. So we want all the right people. We don't want people who are doing bad stuff.
But they are less likely, immigrants are much less likely to commit crimes in this country than actually American-born citizens. And the other thing I just wanted to say is that Governor Newsom did not ask for the National Guard to come to, the federal government to come to California. There are 9,000 local law enforcement officers in California.
Did you catch Sunny Hostin throwing her hand up, trying to cut Arnold off right as he started tearing apart their entire narrative? That's what happens when raw truth collides with politically correct talking points. Things get uncomfortable fast. Then came the predictable move, the tired claim that Americans commit more crimes than immigrants. Classic deflection. Shift the focus, muddy the facts, and hope viewers don't notice. But here's the real issue. This debate isn't about crime statistics. It's about respecting the law. The core problem is illegal immigration. Entering or staying in the country without legal permission is itself a violation of the law, even if no other crime is committed. Deportation isn't revenge. It's about preserving the integrity of the system. But the left is so determined to blur that reality, they'll twist any number to protect their narrative. Arnold didn't back down. He fired right back, and even took a sharp jab at Gavin Newsom's failed leadership while he was at it.
If you were governor right now of California, how would you be handling the ongoing crisis that the state's facing?
Well, I think the most important thing is when you are in a leadership position like that, is that you are inclusive and that you work together with everybody. And so it means that you have to work together with local government, the state government and the federal government. They have to work together rather than fighting each other. Fighting each other's agendas and all of that stuff. That doesn't do good to anybody.
Let's be honest. Gavin Newsom has earned his place as one of the most ineffective governors California has ever seen. Instead of leading with unity and reason, like Arnold suggested, Newsom leaned into political theater. He sided with protesters and illegal immigrants, and, in a reckless stunt, even challenged President Trump to have him arrested. That's not leadership. That's performance. You don't light the match, pour gasoline on the fire, and then pretend to be the firefighter. Real leaders calm chaos, bring people together, and act before things spiral out of control. Newsom did the opposite. He fueled the unrest and only apologized when the political backlash hit. It was weak and far too late. The damage was already done. California didn't get steady leadership. It got a political arsonist trying to outrun the blaze he helped start. Still, the hosts on The View weren't finished. They pressed him on the National Guard debate, but Arnold stood his ground and refused to budge.
The National Guard is under the governor's supervision.
That's right.
Yeah.
But, like for instance, when the National Guard was sent to Iraq during the Iraqi war, I was not the one that said, oh yeah, go to Iraq. The Bush administration came and said, we need those people.
They came
and
to you.
They came
They
to us,
came
and
to you.
and we need the resources,
Yeah.
we need the equipment,
Yeah.
we need the weapons, we need the vehicles to ship to Iraq,
Yeah.
and then they ship
It's the
to Iraq.
coordination.
So
It's the
that's why I
coordination.
say it is very important that we work together.
Yes.
It doesn't matter who is asking whom. The bottom line is we work together in order to solve the problem.
You could practically see Whoopi Goldberg squirm as Arnold stepped straight into another hot-button issue, defending President Trump's decision to deploy the National Guard during the protests. Calm and measured, Arnold explained it clearly. In times of civil unrest, the top priority must be restoring order and protecting lives and property. If that required calling in the National Guard, then yes, Trump made the right call. He didn't sugarcoat it, and the energy in the room shifted instantly. This was not the feel-good segment The View had planned. You could almost picture producers backstage panicking, searching for a way to hit the brakes. But Arnold wasn't there to follow their script. He came to speak the truth, no matter how uncomfortable it made everyone. And when truth collides with a carefully crafted storyline, alarms go off. He flipped the entire segment upside down. Meanwhile, Democrat Senator Ilhan Omar criticized the president over the National Guard decision and received a sharp, fiery response from Ben Shapiro in return.
While our president spending millions of dollars propping himself up like a failed dictator with a military parade.
We're becoming one of the worst places on earth, according to a woman who came from Somalia, because President Trump had a military parade. But this goes deeper than that for Ilhan Omar. Of course, there's not much about traditional American values that she does like. She is constantly sounding off about the evils of American colonialism, American capitalism. A group of people have been brought to our shores over the course of the last 50, 60 years who really despise the country. And that is one half of the equation, not immigrants.
Ben Shapiro's response echoed Arnold's message with sharp clarity. Immigrants should value what America offers: freedom, safety, and the chance to build a better life. That's what immigration is supposed to be about. Gratitude, not grievance. But what do we hear from Ilhan Omar? Time and again, she stands in front of cameras portraying America as racist and oppressive, even calling it one of the worst countries in the world. That's a direct insult to every immigrant who came here with hope, determination, and a desire to contribute. And it raises an obvious question. If America is truly that terrible, why stay? Even more striking, how did this so-called broken country help her rise all the way to Congress? The contradiction couldn't be clearer. And with that, we'll wrap up today's video. If you enjoyed this unfiltered political commentary, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more content like this.